So this is a short primer on what we know so far about this. Experiment, have fun, and as long as it doesn't burn or explode, it's okay to try it. First thing you need is plastic of some sort that is thermally based. Polystyrene works very well. PET is almost idiot proof. Shelf liner from Dollarama. There's also flatter stuff like this that you could get at IKEA. Vinyls seem to work. And I'd try anything as long, just put it on, see if it works. The overall system, you have a platform that goes up and down. You have a aperture here, which is basically it holds the plastic, and it also acts as the vacuum seal. So everything depends on this aperture at this level to make sure it works. We have a clamp that holds the plastic in place, like this. And we have what really is a very good pizza toaster that comes across, and when the plastic's in place, you toast the plastic. What we've learned is you can look at the temperature of the plastic, and that gives you some idea, but the real proof is to look at the plastic and see how far it's drooped. And when it's drooped about half of the way down to whatever you're trying to form, you've drooped far enough. These dials are core temperature, then a ring on the outside and the very outside.
Is there a master on-off, or is it just all by the dials?
It's just by the dials, or plugging it in. It's not 120, it's 220, and in our shop here, you use the big heavy extension cord, and you go over to the same thing as runs the laser. So, and plug it in. It won't plug in anywhere else. You heat everything up, and then when it's nice and hot, you simultaneously raise the work that you've put on here, that you have to put in before you put the plastic on. You raise it up, and you turn on the vacuum. And if you have the right temperature and the right speed, you'll get it to suck. Once it's all formed, then you can reverse the pump and it will blow the plastic off. It helps you release. It may not be what you want to do with a flexible plastic. If you go beyond the 180-degree form with something hard, you're not going to get it off. So you have to design whatever you're molding to make sure you can get it out afterwards. You always put it in so that you maximize the amount of forming material around it. And then you put it down and you forget about it. Then you take your plastic that you're going to form with, and if my lovely assistant can get the tape and the scissors, you tape the perimeter and you hope it seals. So if you're doing it, bring your own tape, because you'll go through a bunch of tape. Bring your own media. Expect to make at least 50% mistakes on your first day. So bring lots of media. We'll seal it all shut. Meanwhile, of course, the heater has been heating. It's all nice and warm in the background. Preheating is useful because then you can at least predict what your timing will be after you mess up the first 2 or 3 tries. So you'll get an idea. But if you're just going from cold, you'll have no way to repeat whatever you just did. Okay, so you put the clamp down, top aperture down, and you clamp it shut. The machine it can make larger pieces. It's been reduced so that you don't waste too much plastic. Okay, so now you pull this over and you let it sit. 20 seconds? Okay, let's see what it's looking like. Okay, if we look at it, it's sort of drooping, but it's actually, we're almost there. Okay, and then all at once. Oh, so we turn that off, and then we let it sit, and then let it cool. And this is still pretty hot. When you're designing your own shape, you'll probably want to fill things like that with putty so that it just won't get sucked in there. So that's basically it. Once it's done, then you take off the clamps. You remember to turn off, once you're really done, you turn off your heaters so you don't burn the place down afterwards and you don't hurt yourself. Maybe we'll cut it. Yeah, in this case we'll cut it over there. Our experience is when it's this type of thing, you cut it in place, it stays on. If you try to take the whole thing off, you're likely to misalign it. If you had raised it up, it would have sucked in underneath and you'd have a very nice trim. You can see the points of the greatest expanse where it's pulled around and then pulled in, and it's just got too thin. So in the future, what you'd do is you would, on the second time, you'd put some plasticine in these locations and you'd know that it couldn't do that. And that's about it. Basically, experiment, have fun, try to make mistakes, see what you can do, and get us all excited about it. That's about it.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.